ਸਭ ਕੋਏ ਦਿਓ, ਜਿਨ ਸਿਰਿਆ ਸਭ ਕੋਏ ਦਿਓ, ਹਰ ਹਰ ਉਤਮ ਨਾਮ ਹੈ। ਹਰ ਜੀ ਸਭੇ ਪ੍ਰਤਿਪਾਲ ਦਾ, ਹਰ ਜੀ ਸਭੇ ਪ੍ਰਤਿਪਾਲ ਦਾ, ਘਟ ਘਟ ਰਮਈਆ ਸੋਏ। ਸੋ ਹਰ ਸਦਾ ਸੋ ਹਰ ਸਦਾ ਧਿਆਈਏ, ਤਿਸ ਬਿਨ ਅਵਰ ਨ ਕੋਇ, ਹਰ ਹਰ ਉਤਮ ਨਾਮ ਹੈ। ਜਿਨ ਹਰ ਸਿਰਿਆ ਸਭ ਕੋਇ ਦਿਓ, ਹਰ ਹਰ ਉਤਮ ਜੋ ਮੋਹ ਮਾਇਆ ਚਿਤ ਲਾਏ ਨੇ, ਜੋ ਮੋਹ ਮਾਇਆ ਚਿਤ ਲਾਏ ਨੇ, ਸੇ ਛੋੜ ਚਲੇ ਦੁਖ ਰੋਏ। ਜਨ ਨਾਨਕ ਨਾਮ ਜਨ ਨਾਨਕ ਨਾਮ ਧਿਆਇਆ, ਹਰ ਅੰਤ ਸਖਾਏ ਹੋਏ, ਹਰ ਹਰ ਉਤਮ ਨਾਮ ਹੈ। ਜਿਨ ਸਿਰਿਆ ਸਭ ਕੋਇ, ਹਰ ਹਰ In our last sitting, we were getting the message Satguru Dayal Kirpal Bhetat Hare Kam Krodh Lubh Marya, Kath na jaye akath Swami, Sadke jaye Nanak Varya. Satgur Dayal Kirpal Bhetat. So we were looking at this and were talking about the concept of Satgur. In Sikhism, Gur, Satgur या प्रभु परमात्मा, ये सारियां नॉन फिजिकल शक्तियां, they are not physical in characteristic, and we very improperly confuse it. Sadguru is not a person. How do we know that? Where did we get it from? Because when Gurbani uses any single word, it defines that word. For us, Gurbani defines Satgur. Satgur mera sada sada, na ave na jaye, o avinashi purkh hai, sab mein rahya samaye. So the one who is sitting in front of us, how we will call him or her a Satgur. Because that's not Avinashi. Avinashi means undestructible. Sada Sada means the one, Adi Sach, Jugadi Sach, Haivi Sach, Nanak Hosi Bhi Sach. Na aave na jaye. So, the word Satgur has never been used for a person. We have decided to name a physical thing as Satgur. So much so that we have actually named Shri Guru Granth Sahib as Satgur. Isn't that amazing? Think about when in the evening in every Gurdwara, when they conclude their ceremony and they are ready to take Shri Guru Granth Sahib away from the Sangat, what do we read? Sing there. Jithe jaye bahe mera Satguru, so than sohava Ram Raje. And we interpret it as if we are taking this Satguru from this than, where it was sitting, to a new than. Than literally means a new place. Nothing could be further from the truth. That's not what that Shant is saying. Anyway, we have discussed it, translated it before. I just wanted to make sure that how this next subject is going to link with this, because we have talked about it, that Shri Guru Granth Sahib's organization sequence was done by the fifth master, and we have to, as the disciple, understand what makes him choose one hymn after the other, one bani after the other, one raga after the other. What did he had in mind when he said, okay, now I'm going to put this here? Because these things were all separate. So you will see the link between the chant, dakhana. Dakhana literally means doha, means two. Shlok, ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ 'ਚ ਸ਼ਲੋਕ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਇਹ ਬੋਲੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਦੱਖਣ ਦੀ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਦੱਖਣਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ. Literally means doha. Satgur Dayal Kripal Bhet, meaning that energy which is beyond the physical dimension. Once you are in touch with that, how would you get in touch with that? How would you ever get a sensation of that energy? And the answer comes, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Marya. Meaning all the five. If they are only listed 3 here, it doesn't mean that you can keep the hankar and you can keep the ego and you can keep the vasana and everything. No, it's basically giving a hint here that when all the 5 are Marya, means transcended, gone beyond it. That's when that happens. And at that stage, what is the indication? Katha na jaye akatha swami. Then now you are beyond the language, the words. If somebody asks you, explain what you are. And we discuss these all the times here. What happens there? And that's a very intellectual discussion. What happens there cannot be put into words. It can only be experienced. And it's a very, very unproductive, inconsequential discussion. We haven't taken the first step and we are looking at the last one. So Gurbani tells us, I'd say, the language is going to completely disappear from there. Why? Because the one who has to say something isn't there. That subscribe does not exist. The object and the observer merge into a single spot. Think of a mathematician will tell you, even though they'll take a piece of paper and they draw the lines and say, see, there are 4 quadrants. This is the positive side. This is the negative side. Negative, when you're coming from the bottom, you are coming negative and going to the 0, and from the 0 you are going to the positive, and when you come from the left, you are coming from the negative and coming to the 0. When you are on the right, you are starting from the positive and coming to the 0. But they will also tell you, you can never reach the 0. You can approximate it. The reality is, a mathematician will tell you, here is my finger, here is my hand, am I touching my hand? Well, the eyes will say, yeah. And the mathematician will say, no, you are not. You can never touch your hand. You can only approximate it. Because if I had the microscope right now, and I was to magnify this intersection, you'll see the gap. 0 and infinity can never be reached. These are hypotheses. These are, and by the way, these two concepts come from India. How did they come from India? Why? Because they were the first one to delve into the spirituality, get into the alpha and omega state. And once they reached and observed the characteristics, they came back to tell the world. Don't get confused. It is not possible to put it in the words. Katha na jaye akatha swami. Then what you do? Sabke jaye. Means, wow. Just enjoy it. Just experience it. Shut your mouth. Shut your ears, because they are meaningless. Karmendriya do not have any role here. Just stop. How do we do this? Next topic. How do we do this? And the next topic is called Vanjara. So what is a Vanjara? Vanjara word comes from Vanj. Vanj literally means business. Vanjara means a businessman, with a slight difference. If you have a shop and you go open that shop daily and do the business there, you are not a Vanjara. A Vanjara is a businessman who has no roots, no fixed spot. It's a continuous movement from place to place to place to place. So, and we have different words for them.
Statutory employee.
Say that again?
Statutory employee.
Like a traveling
Salesman.
person.
Statutory.
ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ
Gypsy.
that's another word. Gypsies.
Yeah.
नहीं,
No, see, the Bajikars are not doing business.
देखिए को गुरबानी तो तुक भी आती है ना वणज करो वण
वण
जा
जारे।
वखर लियो
Sama. ऐसी वह संभालिए जैसी निभे ना। या, या।
पाई दे
ऐसा बिजनेस कर ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਾਵੇ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਬੈਠੋ ਇਧਰ ਆ ਜਾਓ। So, topic is Vanjara, and we can visualize now what a Vanjara is. Okay. Knowing that definition, what connection it has to the previous Shabad? If you are going to reach the state of Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Marya, then the first requirement has to be for you, think yourself as a Vanjara, one who has no roots, one who is temporary, one who has just come for a few moments and then he's going to leave. ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਟੱਪਰੀ ਵਾਸ ਪਾਇਆ ਹੈ। ਜਦੋਂ ਮੌਜ ਬਣੀ ਟੱਪਰੀ ਚੁੱਕੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਥਾਂ ਤੇ ਰੱਖ ਲਈ। But that's not literally it means, because tapri was literally means the one who does not have a house. For them that tapri is only to live. But this is talking about vanaj. It is by, for them, it is their helplessness. For a Vanjara, it is by design. He doesn't want to stay anywhere. When we meet somebody completely new, if you ever want to see that in your own life, a person you have never seen, a place you have never seen, observe the characteristics, and then after 72 hours see those characteristics again, and you'll be surprised that they will have slight nuance to it. It will change. What does it mean? It takes the human consciousness to record that image about 3 days and store it away. If you only see that person once and never see it again, and then after 10-15 years that person comes, you're going to have a hard time recalling that. But if you have stayed with that person at least 3 days, you will be able to recall that image. It is this foundation that Sikhism used, that if you go to any Gurdwara in the world, I'm not talking about these Gurdwaras that you see here, they will have a sarai. That sarai will give you 3 days free residence and free food, and they would want then you to move. the people who are on movement, they never stay in a single place more than 3 days. Every true sadhu, they will come to a place and they will work as Vanjara. They will talk to you, you will talk to them, they will accept your service and you will serve them. But after third day, if they don't move, then they are not the real ones. This concept is so significant to the consciousness because that if you are not feeling like Vanjara, if you don't live like Vanjara, if you don't, then the ego starts getting solidified. Then the concept of this is mine starts developing. This is my place. These are my people. This is my friend. This is my relative. The concept starts solidifying. The only way to not let these things, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Hankar, take roots is to start practicing the concept of Vanjara. See the relationship? What made Guru Arjan Dev pick up this Shri Rag Mahla Chautha Vanjara right after this Shabad? Because he said earlier, Satguru Dayal Karpal Bhetat Hare Kam Krodh Lobh Marya. Based on what? Let me give you the sequence. And Shri Rag Mahla Chautha Vanjara. Ekyamkar Satnam Gur Prasad. Now these are different forms of the same Mool Mantra. What we call them. It's not a mantra, but we have called it. We have named it. Again, we have done numerous of these type of things with Guru Bani. So if you are a Vanjara and who have no roots, that means you have no relationship. Then how do you exist in the world? Becomes very difficult. Being completely disconnected. All of us we have actually lived through it, by the way. We just did not notice it. When we left India, even if we were sponsored by somebody, and we came here, and we had no connections with anybody. So what did we do first? Started finding the people with whom we could connect. Isn't it? Well, why? Why to expand this? We were so tired of those quarrels and hagglings and fights with the brothers and the sisters and the social problems and economic problems. And we left that all behind us. I am tired of this nonsense. These are so petty things. I want to rise above it. Okay, so nature gave us a chance to rise above it. Okay, get out. Leave everything behind. And guess what we did first? We put the roots of the same petty things, the very first thing. But a Vanjara will never do that. What would a Vanjara do? He would never make a connection, but he has to live. So where would he make the connection if he is a true Vanjara? Har Har Utam Naam. That's where he makes the connection. See the relationship? understood the concept that I have come here on this planet for a temporary phase. I mean, our words are so disconnected from our thought. Say, for example, it doesn't matter whether you're a Sikh or a Hindu or a Muslim. Everyone universally will say, nobody knows what's going to happen the next moment. Right? Nobody knows what's going to happen next moment. Do we? Don't we accept that as a reality of life? Okay. But how long vacations do we plan? Isn't it?
Yes,
Don't we tell our children, start saving now for your retirement? Don't we do that? So what happened to that concept? We don't know what's going to happen next. Every single human being, it's not you, me, or anything. This is not a dig at anybody. It's a dig at the human consciousness. That how disconnected it is. How contradictory it is. They will be sitting together as friends, having a cup of tea and talking about the uncertainties of life, and at the same time would be asking, I want to build a house for my grandchildren. That means you're going to live long enough. That means not only that, you are expecting that you will have grandchildren. And not only that, you think that your grandchildren are going to be morons because they will not be able to make a house for themselves, so I might as well do it for them. Isn't that amazing? We have not any trust in our children or even our grandchildren or anybody. Why? Because we want to save and leave it for them. We have no confidence that they can earn on and build on their own self. And that is the consciousness, particularly in the Indian subcontinent. But we say, nobody knows what's going to happen next moment. A Vanjara lives by that ethics. A Vanjara doesn't know truly and implement that thought by not creating any other connections except har har Utam Naam hai jin sirya sab koi jiyo. Har ji sabhe pratapal da ghat ghat ramaiya soe. He lives by that. Now, if Harji Pratipal, the concept, if we accept that as a reality of life, do we need a bank balance? Do we need a saving account? Do we need a 401k?
it's a provision.
Isn't it 401k is for ourselves or not for your children?
What happens to when you are not there to withdraw that?
No, but if you are there, how would you survive?
I understand that. But isn't this second guessing the concept of Vanjara? That's why we were given the lives examples of people like Kabir. He gets up in the morning, he weaves the cloth, And that evening he takes that cloth and goes to the market. And whatever he makes, he brings it home and raises the family. He did exactly, he had a son and a daughter. He raised them both.
He moved them.
Okay.
He didn't move.
Hmm?
He didn't move them. He stayed. He was,
I mean, he moved to do something else.
Yeah, no, but he stayed with this thought. Har har Utam Naam hai.
he stayed with the thought. Yes.
He never left that thought. He lived like a Vanjara. These are completely revolutionary thought processes. Our people at large, even though they were given this, do not want to talk about it, do not want to hear it, do not want to discuss it. They just want to be like everybody else, which is मैं भी पियो होटल में और चंदा भी दो मस्जिद में, खुदा भी खुश रहे और शैतान भी बेजार ना हो. That's enough. We've gone to Gurdwara, church, mandir, masjid, and we've done our duty. We paid some money over there, and we sat down along with the rest of the crowd and listened to whatever they were saying, and then we came home and ate some food over there and socialized and asked everybody how's everything, etc. So we are socially connected. Enough. And somebody says that's a waste of life, please don't tell me. Don't wake me up. Let me stay asleep. Because I have literally seen people just walking outside up and down because something is being said inside the hallway that they do not want their ears even to get it. They won't come so long I'm sitting on the stage. They just walk. Because these words should not go into our ears. Why? Because that's blasphemy. That's completely wrong. That's completely against the Sikhism. What Sikhism are you talking about? I'm talking about the Sikhism that came out of here. I'm not talking about the Sikhism that came out of SGPC. Well, what's wrong with that? Well, SGPC's saying is a collective agreement. Social psychologists call it a consensual reality.
What's SGP?
Consensual.
SGPC
is a Shromani Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee.
Head of
That's the highest organization,
all the Sikhs.
worldwide Sikh organization. So, a consensual reality. What's a consensual reality? 1 plus 1 equals 2. That's a consensual reality. That's not the truth. You could have called it 3. Today is a Friday. It is a consensual reality. It's the month of September. It is a consensual reality. You are a woman, I am a man. It's a consensual reality. You could have called me a dog and that would have been okay. It's a consensual reality. We want to stay within the bounds of consensual reality. Anybody who steps out of the consensual reality is called a madman, a psychotic. What is the definition of psychotic according to the... He is not fitting into the norm. What is the norm? Consensual reality. So, the entire psychological treatment of a human being is to bring this person within the realm of consensual reality. Anybody here who starts running naked in the street would be locked up. But if you go to Africa and there you have all dressed up, they will lock you up. Because their reality has nothing to do with clothes. These are relative things. There's only one thing that is non-relative, which is what Vanjara, by definition, stays in touch with the one, which is the real thing, which is not subject to relativity. And what is the real thing? Har har Utam Naam hai. Jin siriya sab koe jiyo, har ji sab hai pratapalda. No, that's the reality. Because you can actually think that you are the one who's raising the family, and I can show you zillion of them whose parents are working and trying the damnedest, and the children are still hungry. Not in any other world, in this world. Right here. We can go to the Skid Row right now in Los Angeles, and when we talk to those people, they will tell you their stories. Some of them are PhDs. And in the area they were in, economic cycle changed. Jobs were lost. The houses were lost. And there was not enough money even to stay within the car, because they can't put enough gasoline in the car to keep warm, so they ended up living in boxes under the bridges. We still think we are raising the children. A Vanjara never forgets. What? Harji sab hai pratapal. That whatever you are doing, if it is being rewarded properly, it isn't your doing. That energy is coming from somewhere else. Yes, you were the medium to feed that child, so you went out and you picked the fruit and you brought it to the child. And the child is eating. All we know is the hand that's feeding us. We do not see the energy that's moving the hand. Right now, you can say, well, you are talking and we are listening. And the reality is completely the opposite. Neither I am talking nor you are listening. Gurbani says, Kathata, Bakta, Sunata, Soi. Sitting here, he is saying something. Sitting here, he is explaining Bhakta. Bhakta मतलब बकवास करना नहीं है. Bhakta कराया है वक्ता, व्याख्यान करने वाला. ਜਿਹੜਾ व्याख्यान सानू चंगा नहीं लगता, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਬਕਵਾਸ ਹੈ. ਆ ਗੱਲ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਅੱਖਰ ਬਣ ਗਿਆ. In English we say it's nonsense. Nonsense does not mean negative. It just means it's not making any sense. But we use it negatively. That's nonsense. But it's not a negative word. So we only see the surface. That's why this is called Dhurki Bani. We are only saying, well, Mahla Chautha ji, Shri Guru Ramdas ji ne kya? Nothing could be further from the truth. Shri Guru Ramdas does not exist in these words. It's coming from somewhere else. It just came through that. And Vanjara is being defined who absolutely lives by the edict, which is Harji Sabhay Pratapalada Ghat Ghat Ramaya Soe. Why he's saying Sabhay? Because he says, go look inside everything. Do you find anything else? Can you find anything else? It doesn't matter, human, animals, birds, plants. Is there anything else you find? Or is there just one energy? So when that is understood, and when that Vanjara is free of everything, what does he do? So har sada te aaye, tis bin avar na koe. He doesn't go look for any other friend to chat. He does not pick up a book. He does not turn on the TV. He does not listen to the radio. He doesn't go pick up a newspaper. What does he do? Har har sada te aaye. That's his friend. He starts talking to that friend. He gets connected with him right away. Why? Because he has no other person, right? He doesn't see anybody else. Reality is when he is talking to the people, he's not talking to the people. He's talking to him. But that's what he sees. He knows that there is nobody else. It just so happens that this time, I mean, it's amazing those who have seen the truth of this. Sarmad, the prosecutor or the executioner, has a big, you know, what jada hunda hai kattan wala, he has a, and he's going to chop his feet first. Cleaver. And he takes the cleaver, chops both the feet, and Sarmad is sitting like this. Blood rushes. He lifts the blood like this and looks at it and says, Allah, you think by covering your face you're going to hide from me? Isn't that amazing? To see him in his executioner. And the executioner is embarrassed because he cannot show his face. So he put a black cover on his face. And the saint is saying, I know you come in this today to meet me. Don't hide. You don't need to hide. I know you. I see you. That's the definition of a Vanjara. That's what Vanjara is doing. So har sadate aaye tis bin avar na koe jo moh maya chit lainde se chhod chale dukh roye. What is the opposite? You can look at anybody else's life or your own life, it does not matter. Everything that has given us the perception of having roots, that's also the source of our pain. Right? Bigger house, bigger mortgage. Every month the damn reminder. Is it not? Larger family, more problems of maintaining them, feeding them, educating them, dealing with their psychological and physical problems along with your own. No, wait a minute. This is completely anti-society. We don't like this talk. I understand that. But Gurbani is saying, can you live like a Vanjara doing these things at the same? Vanjara is doing, right? I mean, he's buying from here, he's selling over there, he's taking the profit, he's feeding himself, he's feeding the family. What's going on here? He said, learn to live like Vanjara. You can have children, but don't take the credit for raising the children. Don't get attached to that. Don't develop the moha. Stay detached. Just act. What do? We teach the children, Mommy, I want milk. Okay. Mommy goes to the fridge, gets a glass of milk, gives the child. Now, what are you supposed to say? Thank you, Mommy. Oh, you got it. Come on, give me a hug. Give me a kiss.
Manners. We're teaching.
What happened? We are teaching the child the attachment, and we are increasing our own attachment. But the same act could happen. You need the milk? Here's a glass of it. Go drink. I'm done.
But that's manners.
We can't hide under manners.
How rude.
No, putting more feelings, more attachment.
Both ways. Under the guise of social reality. And then we wonder, ye society badi buri hai. This whole society is gone absolutely bonkers. Look what they are doing. As if society and me is something totally different. I don't do it. You don't do it. Yeah, you don't do it right now. And that's exactly what we tell our children. Wait till you become the father. You will know it then. Wait you till become the daughter. Mother. You will know then.
Why we say that?
The imposition of the authority. You're not listening to me right now. You are defying my authority right now. You will understand when your time comes. And may God give me enough life so that I can see it and tell you. I will have my fun then, which every grandmother does. They do have their fun. Because when the child is in a playful mood, come play with me. The moment he is crying, Bede, take it. They couldn't do that to their own child when that child was crying. Who they going to say, Bede, take it? That's their part of the psychological revenge.
Then their grandma says,
रो रहे संभाल तू चुप ला अपने
हाँ अपने बच्चे को संभाल
अपने बच्चे को नहीं कहते
नहीं कह सकते किसा कहेंगे किसनु कहेंगे who would you give that child to? And we never sit down and analyze those motives. What is this drama going on? What's inside me? Well, I am a mother. I know how to be mother. And the child needs mothering. No. At that time, she remembers, I am the grandmother. The mother is there. It is her responsibility. Okay. If it is her responsibility to be mothering, why are you there in the first place anyway?
move on.
Why are you there? Right? You raise them. So give them the total freedom to raise their own. Oh, no. I need to go and help her.
She needs my help.
Yeah, she needs your help only when the child is being unmanageable. That time you're not helping. You say, you take care. But we don't see this drama. Why? Because we forget we are Vanjara. Vanjara never forgets it. Vanjara does not have the time or the inclination to do that. Vanjara says, I have a role to play. I am the father. There is a child. Child needs something. I need to provide it. I provide it. Child is done. I am done. No attachments, no worry, nothing to teach him to be my sport when I am old. Because the moment we go into that thinking, you sport me when I am old, we are no more dependent on him. We are dependent on the child. And the Vanjara reminds, Jo moh maya chit laye de, so chhod chale dukh roye. Because all of your these demands are going to be pushed back by the child. Every single one of them. Why? Because the child cannot look backward. Child can only look forward. You cannot look backward. A parent is a past. Child has no, because he cannot recreate it, he cannot relive it. You can tell him, you know, when I was your age, I used to do this. Yeah, mom, I heard this story 10 times. Would you stop it? Because that's just a story. You could have made it up.
They don't know.
They don't know, right? Every father was a monitor of his class. Every father broke all university records. Only children are stupid. Right? Isn't that what we tell every child?
We never tell them that we used to fight. We never used to fight when we were in your age, right?
Yeah.
We don't tell them the truth, we are right.
And that's what the end result, which is Jo moh maya chit laye de. Those who get attached with that say chhod chale dukh roye. Then the whole of the life.
It's happening with me now.
With everyone.
And
Not
it's
just
very
you.
perfect for me. I'm so glad I'm here.
It's happening.
No, I'm in that situation at this time. It just came to me.
Everything
So I think
happens.
it's so great for me.
Everything happens
No, but
for a reason.
let me ask you a simple question.
You don't-
If you did the part and read this line and move on to the next one, would you get what we are getting now?
Yeah,
Would you get this?
yeah.
These meanings when you are just doing the part?
No, but by understanding, listening to you, it's coming to me.
No,
yeah.
no. If you just read it in the Gurkha or in the Granth Sahib,
Uh-huh.
would the same meaning come to you?
I don't think so because just we read it.
And that's what I'm saying to you.
That's what I mean, like
Yeah.
when you explain.
Look at the line is very, very simple.
But when we even read Guru Granth Sahib, jadon Hukam aanda, we read it and that time it clicks you. When you read the Shabad Hukam Jo Moh Maya Chit Laye De, you feel that it's clicking you, but we just ignore it. Right now by discussing it, it's staying there.
Yeah.
That's our difference.
And this is exactly what is being pushed back by the society at large. We don't want to hear this. We don't want to talk about this.
What does it say? Chhod chale? What is chhod?
Chhod chale. Go from the world. When they leave, what have they left behind? रोना तो होना ही बाकी पीछे रह गया ना. They will leave this earth in a always continuous